Hello, and welcome to part 1 of our Post-Trail Blues series. Today's video are the 3 main things that trigger my post-trail blues. So we'll go into those, and then next week I'll be posting basically part 2 of this, which is tips and tricks to keep your post-trail blues at bay. But today I will be explaining the 3 triggers of my post-trail blues.
Hi, I'm Flip Flop, and this is Caveman. In the last 3 years, we have backpacked over 5,000 miles together, while walking through 17 different states and across the country twice, all while sharing this little 2-person tent. Between the AT and PCT, that's over an entire year spent in the woods together, with so many stories to share. So be sure to follow us, as we're new to this whole YouTube thing, and you know what to do. Now, on to today's video.
Oh, this is gonna take some getting used to, but I'll figure it out. I can do this. First, what is post-trail depression? Post-trail depression is basically an adjustment from trail life to normal life, whatever that might be for you. So whether you've hiked 5, 6, 7 months, 1 month, and you had to go home because of financial or physical illness that you had, everyone's experience of post-trail depression is different, and it's real. And for me, there are 3 main categories that can sometimes trigger my post-trail depression. The first trigger for me is everyone's reaction when you come home, and all the questions you get, like, how was it? Did you have a good time? That was a lot of walking. Are your feet sore? How did you carry all your food for 6 months? And after having 6 months off, how are you supposed to sum that up in a 1-word sentence or a 5-minute conversation with a coworker after you haven't seen them for 6 months? It's one of those things where if you haven't been there, you really can't put into words what a thru hike is, what the experience is, how you change after something like that. So all these questions, it's not that you don't want to explain it and you don't want to tell the stories, but it's this feeling of, I don't think they're really gonna get it. It's almost exhausting to think about trying to explain that to someone. The biggest thing for me was going back to work and coworkers saying, why are you asking for vacation time? You just had 6 months off. And feeling like, why are you the one to tell me when I can and can't have time off? And secondly, I might have had 6 months off, but how many days off hiking did I actually have? You know, on the Appalachian Trail in 2018 when we hiked, we took 14 days off. We walked for 6 months and 1 day from Georgia to Maine, and we only did not walk for 14 days. Which, if you do the math, I think of what, six months, if you worked 5 days a week, that would be, you would have 48 days off in that 6-month period. We took 14 days off. So people ask all the questions they want, and you can do your best to try and explain and tell the silly stories, and half the time people just think we're crazy anyway. But yeah, people, outsiders, like I called them, people that have never actually hiked, people online, it's hard to explain the experience because there really aren't any words. I can't explain a thru hike to someone if you haven't actually done it. Not to the details that I wish I could, is what I should say. The second trigger for me are physical changes. After my Appalachian Trail thru hike, my toes went numb, kind of like rug burn. Like you rubbed your toe and it kind of got tingly. You can feel it, but it doesn't really feel like you can feel the whole thing. But I remember having that sensation and feeling that and enjoying it. I felt like, well, I'm not on trail anymore. It's hard for me to feel like that was even real, but I have this weird toe pain, or my knees are popping and cracking, so of course I must have hiked. You know, I look at my body in the mirror and I see my legs and I see my muscles and I see how skinny I am and how much upper body strength I've lost and muscle mass I've lost. And it's that reminder of, like, you know, your tan lines, your sock tan lines, they're, your t-shirt tan lines. Those are the physical reminders of trail, and to see those slowly go away, to see, you gain more weight finally after being skin and bones for the last month of your hike. You're starting to eat a healthier diet. Your body is kind of filling in. Your muscles, yeah, of course you'll still have your leg muscles, but they won't be as defined as they were your last week on trail. And losing that can be sad. It can be depressing. Seeing your body go through those changes, losing that numb feeling in my toes was sad. I was happy to have the feeling in my toes back, but that was part of my trail life, my flip-flop life that went away, and it was sad. So that's step two, not step two, but trigger two for me is the physical changes. The third thing would be strange hiker habits. Re-entry first, like being able to take a shower and forgetting that you should take a shower, which sounds kind of crazy, but is so common. It's got to be the most common thing that all thru-hikers will tell you is they get home, they shower, they feel great, and then a couple days go by, and then something reminds them like, oh, I haven't changed my shirt. Someone mentioned that. Or for me, I'm always like, oh, my leg hair is growing back, and well, I could shave it. I guess I haven't showered in a while. I should probably shower. Because when you're on trail, you're sweaty, you're so sweaty, and you're dirty, and you go, you're lucky if you get a shower once a week. So it just slips your mind, or being able to filter water. Going to my kitchen sink and just turning the water on. I didn't have to collect the water. I didn't have to filter the water, squeeze the water. It would take me time to be able to drink water, and now I can just go up and turn the water on and it just comes out. Or electricity, living off of a battery bank and now just plugging stuff in whenever, or watching TV. A home with a shelter over your head, with the air conditioning on and a fan is just something that you will never, ever take for granted after you go so long without. When you get home, you're probably going to be really overwhelmed by smells. It's very common for thru-hikers to be like, oh, did you smell that day hiker? They smelled so good. And they smell like Pantene, and they smell like perfume, and it's so nice. But when you get home, you're almost like, whoa, this is really strong. I remember getting ready for the day and be like, oh, I have perfume. I should try and put some of that on. I haven't in 6 months, and just spray myself and almost wish that I took another shower because it was so much. So that's very normal, and it takes a little time to get back into that. Some people don't use deodorant anymore. They don't go back to perfumes. They don't, they change their lifestyle. But I'm getting more at, you might be sensitive to that type of stuff, and it might just take a little bit of time to adjust. Another strange habit is laundry and clothing. Once you wear a shirt once, should you put it in the laundry and wash it? Or should you set it aside and wear it again? I came home and family was like, isn't it time for some new shorts? Don't you think you should buy yourself a new shirt? And thought of that, I used to have 2 outfits for 6 months. I either reached in my bag and I grabbed out my long sleeve, or I grabbed out my t-shirt or my tank top. I either wore pants or I had shorts. I didn't have 5 pairs of shorts to choose from, and I didn't have 6 pairs of pants. And having all these options all of a sudden, opening your closet and seeing all of your old clothes and feeling like, do I need these? I don't even like this shirt. And wanting to go back to your old, this is a trail sweatshirt that I still wear. I absolutely love this thing. And I feel like when you thru-hike, there's certain items where that's your item. This is my shirt, and if I need to go out and put something on my arms to keep me a little warm, this is my go-to. I have so many other things in the closet that I don't really wear. I wear them, and I have the closet that I do, really so that other people think that I'm not wearing the same stuff every day. And I could guarantee that it would be clean, but people would be like, oh, she's wearing that red shirt again, and when you're in the general public and in the public eye, you can't just always wear a red shirt. So anyway, It's common to feel overwhelmed by the clothing, by the laundry situation, and wondering, why the heck do I have all this stuff? Maybe I need to get rid of some of it. Another strange habit would be driving. A lot of people, set their car keys aside, they sell their car, they have someone wash their car, they put their vehicle in storage, and then you through hike, and anybody that's driving you around, it's a hitchhike. It's a stranger giving you a ride. It's a taxi driver, an Uber driver. You're not driving anything unless you rented a car to do some sort of, flip-flop or something like that. But yeah, getting in your car, driving for the first time, going 60, 70 miles an hour, and an hour, 60 miles an hour. It's just mind-blowing where something like that would take you multiple days to go 60 miles. Driving for the first time, it is sure as heck fun to go fast. But the road rage and everything, it's an interesting first once you get back. The next re-entry trigger for post-trail blues and stuff that you might have is having a fridge, being able to have leftovers. Typically on trail, you make something, especially a warm meal. If you're not eating it all, you've got to eat it all, or you've got to bury a deep hole and take care of it properly. You can't just there's no leftovers, otherwise you're going to get critters at night or a bear or something like that. So the luxury to have a fridge is wow. Or going grocery shopping, that was a big thing for Caveman and I, as we'd go into the grocery store and we'd be so on this routine of like ramen, now I can't even think about it, ramen, protein bars, peanut butter, tortillas, whatever the protein of the day would be. Now we go to the store and we're like, oh, we could get milk. We could get a gallon of milk, and it doesn't matter, we don't have to carry it. We have a fridge to store it in. We can buy fresh chicken, we can buy vegetables and produce and be able to store those for days at a time. But it takes a little bit of a mind shift, of a mind change to go from that trail shopping list that you're used to this too many options almost of the grocery store of what am I going to cook now? I need to think of other meals. I need to think of all that other stuff. I did for a long time really enjoy food delivery. I did HelloFresh for a while. It was very convenient to have food delivered. I didn't have to think about the menu. I didn't have to think about going into the grocery store and ordering the specific items, but I knew that I was eating so much better than Snickers and ramen every day. Highly recommend that if you're coming back home and you're overwhelmed with the grocery store stuff, to check out HelloFresh. Don't worry about going into that grocery store. Caveman and I have had so many blow-ups of disagreements in the grocery stores simply because we've just been overwhelmed by all the options and trying to stay on the same page of it's okay if we're buying something that's heavy. We have a shopping cart, we can bring it to the car, we have ways to store it now, and just shifting your mind into different eating habits. Another re-entry trigger that you might have would be internet, like 24/7 having service again, social media. Being able to catch up on all your old TV shows is something that we really enjoy coming back home, and it feels like, we've got new series of that show to watch, and this movie came out, new video games come out, and all of that. But with that, you kind of get wrapped into this rabbit hole of why am I spending, an hour, 2 hours a day watching videos online? Why, did I just watch a turtle eat a strawberry ASMR? Like, I just spent 10 minutes watching a turtle eat, and it just doesn't seem like a good use of time, or all of the drama on social media or politics and all of that stuff. It can be pretty overwhelming to be all of a sudden connected again, so it's good to make sure that you set limits. If you don't want to have that much time online, set a reminder on your phone to tell you, hey, you've been on Facebook for 4 hours today. It seems weird to have those, like to have to set limitations, but I have one for Facebook and it tells me, and I go, yeah, I guess I should probably stop watching dumb videos. Like, why? There's no reason for me to do that. I should be doing stuff like this and sharing what I've learned so that I can help other people. Not watching a turtle eat a strawberry, which, come on, right? I don't know. Anyway, I hope you get what I'm saying. Thanks for sticking around for today's video. I hope you learned something new today about either yourself or maybe a family or friend that's going through the re-entry process to home after trail life. And be sure to follow us below if you want to stay up to date on our adventures. Happy trails! As you notice, I'm looking down, I'm reading what I wrote, I'm working on it, about the talking part. I better be recording. Oh, thank goodness. Isn't the cat cute? Isn't she cute? YouTube is new to us, so bear with me while I get used to all this, which is why we're currently in my bedroom out of all the filming spots, and I'm currently like reading some stuff to help me remember how to talk. I'm not really the best public speaker, so bear with me while we figure this out. If you'd like to check out where we've hiked, see photos and videos of our adventures, you can follow us on our Facebook page at Do It in the Woods. You can also follow us on Instagram at doitinthewoodsbd. And you can also go to doitinthewoods.com and see gear recommendations as well as what we call trail tales, which are basically short stories from our adventures on trails, reliving silly moments with photos and videos, of course.